9. Nurturing the root of the revolution. Revolution does not only mean struggle, it means both struggle and life. Fusing struggle and life and creating a beautiful life through struggle, thus achieving social progress and prosperity, is the revolution that communists aspire to. Even amid hardships that are beyond human imagination, the anti-Japanese revolutionary fighters created a noble and beautiful life that only communists can conceive of, and built a morally ideal community everywhere they went. While struggling, they loved and married. There were poems, songs, tears, and laughter in their lives. Entering the 1940s, our revolution flourished, acquiring new meaning and content. The birth of the second generation of our revolution gave us fresh hope and delight in the decade when we were advancing towards the final victory of the anti-Japanese revolution. Kim Jong-il was born at dawn on February the 16th, 1942, in the Paektu secret camp. His birth was the most auspicious event in my family. From the bottom of our hearts, Kim Jong-suk and I blessed Kim Jong-il, who was born as a man of courage, hearing the roar of gunfire on the battlefield. When he was born, I thought how glad my father and mother would have been if they had been alive. They would have loved him as dearly as my grandfather and grandmother had loved me. People say that one loves one's grandchildren more dearly than one's own children. But Kim Jong-il's grandparents died long ago. He had great-grandparents, but as they were in my hometown far away, I could not let them know about the birth of their great-grandson. In my childhood, I basked in the love of all my family. Every member of the family of 10 took loving care of me as the pillar of the family. The villagers' love for me was also great. They must have taken care of me more kind-heartedly, probably because I was an offspring of a family devoted to the independence movement. But Kim Jong-il did not enjoy such love. There were no neighboring houses in the area of the Paektu secret camp and the training base in the Soviet Far East region, where he spent most of his early childhood. We spent our youth in log cabins or in tents with no address, and sometimes in the open covered with snow and ice. In his childhood, Kim Jong-il lived among soldiers. He was loved by my comrades Nams, even though they were not his family. He grew up in the love of the guerrillas more than in my love. The guerrillas did not hide their delight at his birth, saying that he would make another general on Mount Paektu. Kim Chek always called him Little General. Seeing a new generation of our revolution born in the flames of the anti-Japanese revolution and growing up as vigorously as the birch trees on Mount Paektu, all the soldiers of the Korean People's Revolutionary Army became convinced of the bright future of the Korean Revolution, and with strength, courage, and fighting will increased 1,000-fold, fought even more staunchly to liberate their country. Seeing my comrades' Nams regarding his birth as an auspicious event for everyone, and their loving care for him, I warmly felt that their genuine love for my family was being handed down to the next generation. As I said before, I have lived all my life in the love of my comrades. I owe to these comrades and the people all my ability to lead the revolution and construction in good health until now. Since taking leave of my mother at the age of 14, I have lived among the people and my comrades. In the days of the anti-Japanese Revolution, in the days of building a new country, and in the days of the Fatherland Liberation War, my comrades faithfully helped and protected me without wavering. They became human shields, protecting me from bullets, from rain and snow, and from illness. When I was suffering mental pain, they inspired me with strength. Whenever I was exhausted or in pain, the first thing I did was call on my comrades and the people. They gave me fresh strength, opened blocked roads for me, and inspired me with confidence that I could perform any task, however difficult. Now I will tell you about an event in our life at the training base in the Soviet Far East region. In the winter of the year in which the International Allied Forces were organized and we stayed at Camp North, it snowed heavily in the Soviet region and in Manchuria. The snowfall was so heavy that even wild animals would come to human habitations in search of food. Traffic was held up for some days by the knee-deep snow. At that time, Kim Il, who had been on a small unit mission, returned to the camp with a heavy sack of rice and met Kim Jong-suk. Saying that he had obtained the rice because bread was the staple food in the camp, he asked Kim Jong-suk to serve the commander with cooked rice at each meal and not to use it for any other purpose. It was not the first time that Kim Il had obtained rice for me. Though he ate uncrushed maize every day, he always tried to have cooked rice served to me without fail. Each time the supply department rationed out rice in small amounts, Ryu Kyung-soo would give his ration to Kim Jong-suk, saying she should cook rice for me without saying anything about it. The revolutionary camaraderie and communist morality between my comrades in arms and me was expressed after Kim Jong-il's birth as moral obligation for Kim Jong-suk and Kim Jong-il. Soon after Kim Jong-il's birth, Kim Jong-suk made clothes for him by shortening some of our uniforms. The circumstances were no different when we were at the training base. In those days, the Soviet people were not eating their fill because of the war. Their slogan was to eat little, sleep little, and wear humble clothes. So it was impossible to obtain clothes, quilts or bonnets for the baby. The women guerrillas gathered bits of cloth and patched them together into a quilt. Kim Jong-il used that quilt until the day of national liberation. Whenever they saw my son under that quilt, my comrades in arms felt very sorry for him. That sight weighed on Rim Chun-chu so heavily that when he returned to the motherland for a holiday while working in northeast China after Korea's liberation, he brought with him 500 blankets and gave them to Kim Jong-suk and me as a present. We donated all the blankets to the Manyeongdae Revolutionary School. The circumstances were very difficult, but the soldiers of the Korean People's Revolutionary Army looked after Kim Jong-suk and Kim Jong-il with the utmost devotion. The women guerrillas especially took much trouble. They lent willing hands to Kim Jong-suk. From his childhood, Kim Jong-il followed the army closely and liked the world of soldiers. So when they met him, my comrades would put their army caps on his head. Some carved pistols out of pieces of wood while working in the enemy area and gave them as presents to Kim Jong-il. When we were staying in the Far East region, My house was situated near our barracks, unlike at the Paektu secret camp. So when they were at leisure after training and on holidays, many soldiers called at my house and played with Kim Jong-il, teaching him to walk, giving him rice on their shoulders, and teaching him songs. Sometimes they would take him to the Amur River and show him ships cruising up and down and the migratory birds flying away. Kim Jong-il had an unusual start to life. As born to guerrillas, he grew up in clothes impregnated with powder smoke, eating army rations and hearing shouts of military command. He was upright and full of guts from his boyhood, partly because he was endowed with these qualities, but more importantly because he grew up valiantly, free from constraint, learning the truth of life and struggle among the fighters who had the strongest sense of justice and strongest faith in the world. He was precocious, probably because he grew up under the influence of the guerrillas. Their noble feelings and emotions became rich nourishment for his mind, and their mettle as soaring as the peak of Mount Paektu added flesh and blood to his manly personality.